The fact is that President Trump supports a lawsuit to overturn the Affordable Care Act completely, and that includes the guaranteed protections for people with pre-existing health conditions. So here's what's at stake if President Trump and Mitch McConnell get their way. 135 million Americans who have pre-existing conditions would lose their guaranteed protections, including more than 2 million Wisconsinites.
The president and the Senate leader are going to move heaven and earth to put another corporate justice in the Supreme Court, a judge we have every reason to believe will take away America's health care in the middle of a pandemic. They haven't been able, through the Democratic small d process, to get rid of the Affordable Care Act. So they're going to a court that they know legislates on behalf of corporate interests.
If the ACA is repealed, and with it the protections for people with pre-existing conditions and the bans on lifetime caps, Andrew would be uninsurable. This would put us in the position of not being able to afford the necessary care, and leave us with life and death choices between his care and our family's financial survival. No family should have to make that choice.
For me, the loss of the ACA means high health care costs due to pre-existing conditions like asthma, pulmonary embolism, and COVID-19, of which I have all three conditions.
My husband and I are both cancer survivors, and without the ACA, we wouldn't have had the access to the excellent care that we had and that we continue to have.
So we have to do something because, as Kamala Harris said last night, they're coming to get us. And not only will it affect me personally with the ACA being overturned, otherwise known as the Affordable Care Act, my daughter, who's a full-time student in the College of Nursing at Marquette, would also lose her health care coverage because she's currently on mine. So it would knock her off as an adult child, although she's a full-time student.
I'm an adult gay man living with HIV. I had my first diagnosis about 13 years ago. I'm healthy. I'm going to live a long life as long as I have access to medical care and medication. That caveat is important. If the ACA is overturned, my HIV becomes a pre-existing condition. It's going to become much harder for me to access medical care, to access health insurance. And I know that's going to put my future at risk.
So when my daughter Elle was 7, she was diagnosed with melanoma. And it was about a year after the ACA took effect. I knew, as anyone who's done anything with cancer, you know how expensive every scan, every surgery, every piece of that treatment was. So I understood that if it was overturned, she was in jeopardy. And Ella was 8, and she came in to me and said, "They protected me, didn't they?" So fast forward to just a few weeks ago when that nomination was named. She's now 16 and she's healthy and she's very active politically. She read about the nominee and she came to my husband and I and said, "They're not going to protect me." You look at Donald Trump and they keep saying we're going to protect people with pre-existing conditions, but once the ACA is gone, there's nothing there to protect them.